What would ARK be like if they actually fixed the game? ARK has quite a bit of issues, and if those issues were fixed, if most of the problems were gone, I personally think that ARK would thrive so much better. If you guys don't know, and you've never played ARK, ARK is a phenomenal game. It is a dinosaur game. You can build, you can tame, you can literally live in caves, you can fight bosses, you can fight enemies, you can play PvE. It's one of the best ideas for a game that is out there today. But sadly, the developers don't care about fixing major issues. They only care about one thing, and this has changed a lot over the years, and that is money. I'll cover that in a little bit. First of all, some of the really bad issues that this game has is the grapple glitch. The grapple glitch is what's killing PvP right now, only on Evolved. On ASA, which is Ark Survival Ascended, we don't have this issue. They did patch it on the new one, but they refused to patch it on Ark Survival Evolved. Now why? I personally don't know. It's simple as that. I don't understand why they allow this to happen. If you guys don't know what the grapple glitch is, it should be playing on screen for you, but it is basically giving the ability for players to use a grapple, glitch their way, and basically shoot themselves past a bunch of turrets, get into your base, turn off all of your generators, and then they're in. It is a completely unfair advantage, and I think it should be taken out, but it's ridiculous that this has not been patched yet. Next up, we got the reload glitch. If you guys don't know, every once in a while when you're trying to fight somebody, your gun just decides that it just basically jams and doesn't want to reload. This is a pretty bad issue. Now this may be intentional, it could be, but it does it for every single weapon. And that's the other problem here. When you're trying to fight somebody and it's a life or death situation, because most things in ARK are life or death situation, and you try to reload and it fails, it's gonna get you killed. It's gonna make you angry because you died because of a tactic that the game has. You didn't die because you're just bad. You died because the game didn't function. It is insanely aggravating. Another big issue that this game has is lag spikes. Lag spikes are probably one of the biggest issues that I've come across on here. Like if you're trying to farm something using a grapple or something, it just shoots you across the map, or it'll just kill you because you hit the terrain or something. Lag spikes can be bad if you're trying to fly on your PT and your stamina is kind of almost a little low, and then you lag, it'll just basically just make you fall out of the sky. Lag is bad if you're trying to run away from dinos, because it'll lag you straight back into that dino, but the dino is still going to be ahead. It's ridiculous. I'm trying to think of some more lag spike issues that happen on this game, because there is a lot of them. But just for the most part, lag is a pretty bad problem. Then we have meshing. If you don't know what meshing is, it basically allows for the player to get underneath the map against, how the game was implemented, and completely just kill anybody that you want, raid any base that you want, because turrets do not shoot under the mesh. And that brings another issue with that, is the fact that they have tried to patch this with, mesh protection, but it just doesn't work. People are still able to do it. It does teleport you out if you hit certain little mesh zones, so I do like that. But on Evolved, still a huge issue that is not patched at all. And that's why people have to play on official servers, sadly. Now, ARK can be a little bit difficult for just a lot of newer players, especially me. Like back whenever I was new, it is not really the easiest, but it can definitely stress us out. But yeah, if it also stresses you out, check out Mitra 9. Mitra 9 is a non-alcoholic supplement that quite literally makes you feel good. These drinks give you a high, but without the impairment. They have a ton of great flavors, my favorite being root beer. If you're looking for a new drink to replace your coffee in the morning, Mitra is the way to go. Simply go to mitra9.com and use my code OUTCAST for 25% off your entire order. Now, back to the video. Now, with meshing comes another really annoying issue. That is dino and structures disappearing. If you don't know, randomly, your dinos will just fall through the map and they're gone. And here's the thing, it doesn't even tell you if they died, it doesn't tell you what happened to them, they just disappear. But the same thing happens with structures. Now for some odd reason, random structures, especially the crucial ones like a replicator or an indie forge, just disappear. They're just nowhere to be found, they're gone. Now that really doesn't make sense to me, but it's a really bad issue when you just, farmed. Like let's say that you're a solo on a decently boosted server, like a 5x. It's gonna take you about an hour or two just to get it up in a indie forge, right? If that indie forge just randomly disappears against, what the game was implemented for, you're gonna quit. Suppose that. I've done it. I've been so angry because stuff just disappears or something bad happens. I just quit. I quit. I come back next week. because I don't have the patience to do it all over again, especially whenever it was something that I didn't cause. It's something that the game mechanics are just broken with. People get angry, and this is why people leave your game. This is why people don't stick around, because of these problems. Now with these problems comes unfair advantages. Now what I mean by this is basically, it's hard to explain, but it's basically meaning that, like, you know, some tribes are going to be a lot bigger than others. And this is the bigger issue with official, because official, you can have a tribe of 100 people plus. Just know that, you know, the server is maxed out at 70, but you can still have a crazy amount of people in a tribe. Now, this is a little bit kind of controversial, but it doesn't allow for smaller tribes to really build up. And that is a huge problem that I'm seeing with a lot of new players. They don't know what to do here, and I don't know what to do here even with this. Because when you have a giant tribe that's just dominating all of your official servers, there's probably about 10 to 20 of them, and there's a good amount of official servers, but they kind of dominate all of them. A smaller tribe can't do anything against this. There's nothing that a smaller tribe can do to fix this. Essentially, you're just kind of screwed. You just have to go play unofficial or find a server that is allowing for, you know, new player protection. That's been a major issue that I've been seeing with ARK over the years, and ARK is doing nothing about it. Now that's just for PvP, because they're too focused on PvE items and just money, that they don't care about PvP. And I feel like the PvP side of this game is massive. It is insanely massive. You have a bigger community on PvE, yes, but the biggest reason for that is because PvP is so broken. If you allowed for, you know, all this stuff to function, you're gonna have a lot more people playing. You're gonna have a lot more people on this game. But yeah, it's hard to explain what I mean by the unfair advantages, but it's just basically one tribe can dominate others, and it's not entirely fair. Then we have another issue here, which is just being too much of a grind. Getting stuff done on ARK just takes a little bit too long. Now there are boosted servers that do help with this, but if you're playing on the basic official technical settings, it is 1x. And to get basic needs and just basic stuff, it will literally take you hundreds of hours. Now, yes, you can get a base up and running in a couple hours, yes, if you're on like single player, but if you're on PvP and you take those hundreds and hundreds of hours to get somewhere and then you get raided, it's just not fun. And this especially kind of plays into the role of that even with taming dinos takes hours. I mean, some dinos can take up to 4 to 5 hours. And then you gotta raise dinos too, which raising isn't as, you know, complicated because you could just put some food in feeding trough, just let it be. But like if you're raising a giga on an official server, it takes weeks. I mean, it takes forever to do that kind of stuff. So raising dinos sucks, taming dinos sucks, and guess what? You can go and tame a dino and then it'll fall under the mesh randomly and you lose it. After you spend hours getting a dino, it falls under the mesh. Yeah. So now you're kind of seeing what I'm saying here with all these problems. You know, when you spend hundreds of hours, which is why so many ARK players have so much hours. Like the average hours for ARK, I think, is a minimum. Like for the average player is 200 to 300 within like the first couple months, which is actually wild for a game. Most games aren't that high. But your average big, you know, ARK player is in the 10,000s easily. Because it is very easy to get lost in this game and spend countless just days straight playing this game. But yeah, so the grind is just too much. It's too much to deal with. Now, yes, I did say this before, but you do have boosted rates, which can help with that. But for a new player, they're not gonna know about that kind of stuff. Now, I covered this in a different video, which will be coming out shortly after this one or before, I'm not sure yet, but it is delays. The delays also play a major role in why this game could be better. Because, you know, if people are sitting there getting hyped up for a new map, like, oh, that's awesome, Ragnarok's coming out tomorrow, let's go. Then they ghost you. They don't say a single word about what's happening, where the, you know, update is, when it's gonna come out, what exact time is it coming out. No, they wait till last second and then they delay stuff. So they'll, you know, push it back a couple days, and it doesn't help when someone's trying to take off work, you know, to go and play ARK, because I know a lot of people do that. They take off work for a big map release so they can get that base spot that they want. And it just doesn't help when they delay stuff. It just screws everybody over. It's a horrible layout. But yeah, if you want to learn more about delays, I did have another video that came out about the same time as this, so you can go and just try and find that one. Now the biggest thing, well, the second biggest thing that I am seeing here is that the game is confusing for new players. It is extremely confusing because there's so much to do and it doesn't really guide you. With other games, like you have Rust, right? Rust is the closest competitor to ARK that I personally know. There might be something else, but I don't know it. But that is Rust. Rust is perfect, almost perfect. Now, I don't play Rust. I don't know how many big bugs or issues that there are, but I can assure you that you don't see a ton of forums that are sitting there like, wow, Rust sucks because of this. You can just do meshing, all this. No. But with ARK, there's thousands of them. There's thousands of forums about constant issues that they're not fixing, and Rust actually fixes those issues, and they listen to their community. And guess what? Rust is thriving. They're doing significantly better than ARK. I don't know about revenue-wise, but for player base-wise, significantly more. And a lot of people who play Rust know what ARK is, but they know what this game's reputation is, so of course they're not going to come back to ARK and play it or even give it a try because it doesn't function. It functions, but after a couple hours, you're going to start seeing a couple bugs. I can guarantee you, if you're new to this game and you're watching this video, go play ARK for about 2 hours and tell me how many issues that you find. You will find a couple of them at least. And that's if you're even playing single player. I mean, it could be on servers. A lot of them happen more on servers, but single player, not as common. Now, the number one biggest issue why I think, ARK could be better if they actually listen to us is greed. So instead of fixing the constant issues that have been in the game for many, many years that we have been actively complaining about to them, and they are seeing it, by the way, they're just ignoring it. They'd rather add a new DLC dino, a new expansion thing, like for Lost Colony, how they added a pre-order expansion pack for a map that isn't out yet, and you have to buy it to get the new dinos that are coming out with Valguero? How does that make any sense? Like, is that just me? Does that make any sense to anybody else? You have to purchase a pre-order expansion pass for a map that isn't even out yet to get dinos that were actually on Ragnarok and Valguero, and you can't buy it separately. You have to get the expansion pass. It doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand. And you guys already know that when Lost Colony comes out, guess what? They're gonna have another paywall on it. So you're gonna have to pay for something else because it's gonna be hidden behind a paywall, or it's gonna be like part 2 of Lost Colony expansion pass. Watch, it's gonna happen. I'm already calling it. But yeah, the biggest issue with this greed isn't really Studio Wildcard, it's Snail Games. Snail Games is ARK's publisher. Snail Games is ARK's publisher. They're in charge of, just the publishing rights and everything for ARK, and just helping to get their name out there. But they straight up suck. There's hundreds of videos about why they are a terrible company. They're corrupt. They've banned players for raiding them before. They are a horrible company. So if you want to go check that out, just look up Snail Games ARK and you'll find a lot of videos. But yeah, they're in charge of all of these things, all of these paid dinos like the Pyromane, all that crap. They are the reason that we have to have all of this now. It is turning into just a greed fest. Everything costs money. Why can't it just be the base game, DLCs, and mods? Maybe even some skins. But that's how I see it. I don't see the point in having paid dinos, all these pre-order expansion stuff, but that's every company that's doing that part now. But I don't get it. I mean, you guys make enough off of the game in general, off of the initial sale, the expansion packs, which you have Bob's Tall Tales and stuff now, which is kind of a different route that they're going, but I don't hate that. But it is still unfair for people who don't have it. But to be fair, if somebody didn't have Ragnarok, it's kind of unfair there. So I kind of get what they're doing. But still, having all of these paid things makes it annoying. People don't want to buy everything. It's just constant paywall, paywall, paywall. That is why you're losing players. You are losing players because of all of these issues that I just mentioned. But the biggest one is greed and you not fixing the major bugs that have been in the game since day one. I mean, it should be common sense here. I shouldn't even have to say this stuff. Everybody knows it. Everybody has seen this for many years who have played ARK at least. I mean, I wish that we had a government agency that held these companies accountable for this kind of stuff. Because putting stuff behind paywalls and forcing them to buy it, I feel like should be illegal in a way. yes, they're, it's optional to play, so they're not forcing you, but I don't know. It just comes to say, I really don't know. It's very debatable. A lot of this is debatable, but just saying, ARK, if you guys are watching this video, the number one thing that is causing this game to slowly just decrease in sales, people are leaving, and people aren't even interested anymore, is the fact that you don't fix your game. So simple as this. You fix all of your major bugs in the game. I'm not talking about meshing. You guys have tried that for years. It still isn't working. I'm talking about, pretty major bugs, which are very minor, by the way. They're very, very minor to fix these little bugs. I mean, it's just a line of coding that's messed up. Fix it. It's not that complicated. It's really not. I know people that make ARK maps who can fix this stuff. So that, it's proof that you guys can do this. You're just not doing it because you're too worried about money. But guess what? You fix these issues and you're gonna get more sales. Simple as that. Actually, I don't even think so anymore, to be honest with you, because you've already ruined your entire reputation. Your reputation is so far gone now that people don't trust you. It will take years for people to come back onto this game to even think about trusting you because you guys don't care to fix your problems. But yeah, with that, mixed with greed, too much of a grind, falling under the mesh, lag spikes, grapple issues, all kinds of stuff, and even with some delays, yeah, this is why your game is failing. This is why I don't think ARK will be here in the future. I'm just gonna be honest. It might still be here. They're just not gonna make as much as they're gonna be hoping to. And a big player in this is Snail Games. They're a massive reason why these issues are not getting fixed. I don't have proof for that, but if you kind of look at how things are going, and how everything's set up, who's kind of in control here, it's obvious who's doing this, and it is Snail Games. But yeah, so leave me some feedback down below about what you guys think. Was I wrong in some cases? Is there anything else that you think people aren't going to be coming onto ARK for? What do you guys think? But yeah, don't forget to leave a like if you're new, and please hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 100,000. But anyways, thanks for watching.